Hi there, come on in. It is Thursday night, July 27th, the year 2000. I'm Fred Trost. The show that I'm doing is called The Practical Sportsman. I've been doing this since 1992. I began on public television in 1981 with a series called Michigan Outdoors. And exactly 16 years ago this week, we did a show promoting our upcoming outdoor fair, which was our second annual fair. Now, on that show, I look a little bit different. Well, a lot of things are different since 1984, but we're going to go through the changes comparing it with 16 years ago. Stay tuned. A lot of people think I have the greatest job in the state, hunting and fishing and all that. I'm a little nervous right now. You can bring it in, Godfrey family. For the outdoor fair, we're going to go through a show here with a lot of the attractions. One of the attractions is one that makes me a little bit nervous, Boo Boo the bear. Now, we have not done this sitting right here. I just as soon only do it once. Chuck Godfrey, have a seat. Oh, Boo Boo likes that mountain by Tom Wolfe. He's eating it, for crying out loud. Don Godfrey and Chuck Jr. These are the folks who are going to be at the outdoor fair this week. He has no teeth, correct?
Some.
Some teeth?
He
Lord.
just has no fangs.
He has no fangs? This is a live Michigan black bear that's how old? Oh, you know what it is? I have gum in my pocket. I don't have it in my pocket anymore. Oh, Lord, I hope I don't have any more. He smelled it, didn't he?
He likes gum.
How big is Boo Boo?
He weighs 260 pounds.
And Boo Boo stinks. I didn't mean that, Boo Boo. This does make me nervous. We're going to be back for a couple minutes talking with you folks in Boo Boo, but he is rather well behaved right now. And he's going to be at the outdoor fair. I guess we're just going to have to go to the opening of the show while I slip out of here. You calm him down and we'll be back. It's Thursday night. Time for Michigan Outdoors.
From the rugged shore and woodlands of the north, it's history of copper.
Well, that was the opening of the show of July 30th, 1984. That series was Fred Trost's Michigan Outdoors. Series is no longer on the air now, but we did that from Channel 23 in East Lansing. Now, a lot of things have changed in society since then in regards to the outdoor fair, television shows, the television business, even personnel on this show. Now, at that time, I had hired Bob Garner and Ed Groves to help me out, and this is how we were promoting the outdoor fair 16 years ago. The outdoor fair this weekend at Houghton Lake, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The first thing you're going to see at the high school grounds off M55 is the Muzzleloaders Village. Similar to what you see at weekend muzzleloader shoots around the state. That's the Lansing Muzzleloading Gun Club. Invite you to spend some time at their village, and at certain times of day, you'll be able to try a muzzleloader yourself in the shooting range.
And if you'd like to try a big bore handgun and touch it off at a metallic silhouette target, Tim Farragon will be there on Saturday and Sunday, and he'll be willing to let you try one. It's a lot of fun.
Here's a nice shot by you, Fred. Bang. Nice going. Now, if you've never fired a shotgun before, or if you're bothered by recoil, this is the man to see, Sam Johnson. He developed a recoil pad for your shoulder. He'll be there letting people try a shotgun and try his pad, which takes the kick off your shoulder.
An amazing product. It really works. We'll also have a sport there with no kick, but it's fun. Slingshots, an upcoming sport. That's Blue Skeen you see right there. The world's champ. He'll put a slingshot in your hand and give you a lesson, show how to hit a target, just like he put one in my hand and gave me a lesson.
What you have to do is you have to take up a position similar to what an archer does. Standing 90 degrees is what you shoot at.
Okay.
I anchor directly under my cheek and aim with my left eye.
Okay.
Close my right eye.
What do I aim though? What am I going to be aiming?
Use this part right here of the slingshot. The edge of it.
And put it on the target?
Yeah. Put it right on the target. Pull
Like
back
that?
right where you can only see one band with your left eye.
Yeah.
And you're straight. And when you get that right on the target, you release.
Let go. Okay. Take one of these balls.
And try to hold your position for a second after you release. Just keep you avoid
Okay,
jerking.
sort of a follow through then.
That's right.
Okay, here we go.
Prevent you from shooting underneath.
Well, I was right over the top.
Fishing isn't really considered a shooting sport, but speed casting is. Hit the ring once in 60 seconds and you can win a prize, hit it more often than anyone else, and win a weekend at the Birch Lodge on Higgins Lake, meals and lodging included. Berkeley Triling is holding this contest just like they do every year at the boat show, but at the outdoor fair it will take place all day, every day at the Limberlost Dock right across the street from the high school on Houghton Lake itself.
You know, Bob, also at the fish factory, you'll see our Michigan Outdoors boat at the outdoor fair. And if your boat's on the lake, pull it up to the Limberlost dock where the Coast Guard Auxiliary will give you a free courtesy examination. They'll give you tips and ideas that aren't mandatory, but they're really helpful in making your boat safer on the water. If your boat's on a trailer, drive it up to Spicer's Boat City next to the high school and across the street from Limberlost. The Coast Guard will be there, too, giving safety checks to boats on trailers.
If the conditions are right, Ed, you got to see this. We're going to have a barefoot water skiing demonstration during the day. That's right on Houghton Lake, Limberlost Dock. And right there, too, on the water, Joe Delaney and his retrievers. Last year, Joe's dogs were really popular at the outdoor fair. He's going to be working on the water this year.
Okay, now we're getting ready for the long run here.
We're going to make some 100-yard retrieves, which the field trial people really do great. You know, if you own a bird dog, you want to learn how to be good. Join a field trial club. That's one of the greatest things you can do. Okay, we'll signal for retrieving dummy.
Okay, now hold on there. Can you see where Kathy is way down there? She's got a couple of dummies there, and Joe's going to give her a cue. Let me get on the other side here. Joe's going to give her a cue to throw a dummy out there, and this dog's going to rip like crazy down into the field.
We're going to do a couple 100-yard retrieves.
Okay.
Back.
Look at that dog go. How fast did that dog run?
She can hit 25 miles an hour in 3 jumps.
Now, she's been running a lot today, so she's maybe not quite up that fast, but look at that. Beeline.
She's made about 25 retrieves today.
That whistle brings her back real quick, huh?
Oh, yeah. She's, I like to use a lot of body English and, you know, a lot of complimentary language. Good, Punchy. That's a girl.
Yeah, good dog.
Good girl.
I haven't seen Joe Delaney in years, like many of the people from the 1984 outdoor fair. And Ed Groves, well, he got a job teaching computers in 1985, I think it was. That's an occupation that's turned out to be more lucrative and more stable than outdoor TV. Now, see that button that Ed is wearing? We used to do buttons like that as an entry for the fair. Here's a 1984 club button Stroh's put out for us. Here's a pin that the Flint Bowmen did in 1986. That's still in the original package. Here's a 1991 pin that the Livingston Archers did. Here's a 93 outdoor fair pin. Now these things, nowadays, they're collectibles actually. We didn't think they were going to be then because collecting in the 80s really wasn't anything, but we're moving in that direction with this TV show because that's something that's on the upswing. Now remember that boat? We call it our Michigan Outdoors boat. Well, that was provided at the time by Four Winds. Four Winds went through change of ownership. A lot of boat companies did, and it's tough for outdoor shows to borrow from a manufacturer nowadays the way we did then. In fact, I don't even have a boat this year. That's how times have changed. Now, the speed casting, I always enjoyed that. I did that at the Detroit Boat and Fishing Show in the early 1980s. Yeah, I was actually pretty good at it. Berkeley Trilene sponsored it, and what happened to all that? Well, the Detroit Boat Show dropped the fishing component. Berkeley Trilene doesn't do speed casting anymore. It's really too bad because that was a lot of fun. And whatever happened to Blue Skeen, the slingshot champ? Well, I don't know. I haven't heard about him in 12 or 14 years. I haven't heard about sling shooting. Well, actually, they call it catapultry. But I do have a slingshot that Blue Skeen gave me back in 1984, and this is in our museum here in a collection of slingshots. That's unfortunately another activity that has faded. And the Muzzleloaders Village used to be a big part of our fair in the 80s. What happened to that? Well, we haven't had muzzleloaders at the fair for 8 years or so. We now have deer camps instead. And archery. Well, that was big then. Not as big, I don't think, nowadays because there's so many archery events, but the Flint Bowmen helped us with that back in the 80s. And here's a taste of what we did in 1984. But archery is going to be a big part of the outdoor fair thanks to the Flint Bowmen. Ron Mast and his club have put together dozens, and I mean dozens of events. We'll have a target archery tournament be held for anybody interested. A Stroh's professional tournament will be held where the pros will compete for cash prizes. Then there's a whole array of other bow hunting events using murals and 3D targets.
This is the type of shots that we're going to have up there, the outdoor fair, and I got to put the arrow through there and try to score on the vital areas. This is a lot of fun. You're also going to have some sitting shots. And
There'll be sitting shots and kneel shots also, Fred.
okay. Oh, nice. Well, we'll see how it goes. And I'll hit the styrofoam and I'll try to hit him right in the vital area.
Nice shot. Nice shot.
Huh? Okay. good score.
Good score.
There's going to be 14 of those targets,
14
right?
of those, Fred. There'll be there'll be some deer and some bear. We're going to have a mixture of deer and bear.
Okay, do they use target points or have to be
Will be
broadheads?
field tips. These will be field tips.
See what the score is? You get 1 shot per?
1 shot per target.
Okay, look at this.
Complete
Got a
with
beautiful
real
live antlers here, and this is called the Golden Arrow 3D.
Let's take a look and see what you got here.
Pull the arrow out. Well, what do you think?
You got a partial lung and liver.
Okay, what would that score? That score a 3 because
three.
it goes in 3
A
areas.
3 here.
If you are an archer, you like to shoot for fun, and you don't mind a crowd watching now and then, bring your bow and compete in a wide range of novelty events. Now, here's one, for example, archery poker. 5 shots at a deck of cards, the best poker hand wins. They'll also have turkey shoots and boar shoots at silhouette targets at varying distances. That's a real challenge. How about shooting an apple off a can? That's not as easy as it looks, to slice the apple but leave the can standing. That's a lot of fun. Then the Flint Bowmen will provide flu arrows for those of you who want to try the flu balloon shoot. You know, you don't get a chance to shoot into the air very often, so this is going to be a little different test of skill. We're going to have long shots, short shots, novelty shoots, target shoots, competitions, fun events of all sorts will be going on all day, every day. So if you're an archer, remember, put your bow in the car, come up and compete for the trophies and prizes. Everybody's invited. Now, even if you can't shoot or don't shoot, come and watch other shooters try to soak some people you and I know in the dunk tank. It's electronically activated, something different. Oh, the old dunk tank. That was fun. The Flint Bowmen had the best dunk tank of anybody. There weren't many around, but the Flint Bowmen were known for the innovations and the novelty shoots they had. And Ron Mast was the president of the Flint Bowmen at that time. There he is, 16 years ago. He retired a few years ago, moved to Muskegon. The club has gone through a few struggles, but apparently things are looking up. Now, I'm going to be at their fall shoot for the Flint Bowmen the weekend of September 16th and 17th. Just for old time's sake and to help them out. They're getting their club back on their feet strong again, and I'm going to be there as a part of it. Now, those 3D targets we shot at with the vital organs on the paper inside, that was called the Golden Arrow round. I haven't seen a paper inside like that in a number of years. Things change. Another thing we haven't seen in many years, of course, was a fellow who was at our 1983 outdoor fair.
You know, Bear Archery is going to be there, but Fred Bear won't be. But Bear Archery will be bringing an outdoor shooting range where you can try any of their bows or your own, and they'll also be running a free clinic for tuning and repairing your bow. Now, that's right, no charge. If you have problems with your compound, bring it to the outdoor fair, and Fred Bear experts will have the tools and equipment to repair it for free.
Along with a Fasco first aid, these people will be indoors with their outdoor products. They have supplies for outdoor people have been needing for years.
Flex Gun Rod demonstrating their innovative way to clean rifles and shotguns.
And speaking of innovations, great for a perch trip, Paul Collins with his de-hooking device for fish.
And Ted Kohler with his invention for tying knots and monofilament fishing line.
The Game Tracker people with their string tracker, and of course they're the ones who are bringing our friendly Boo Boo the Bear.
And a lot more products, too, along with artists like Chuck Denault, who's become quite popular with his deer paintings. 2 years in a row, he won the whitetail category in our wildlife art contest, and last year his painting also won our Best to Show.
And let's not forget the taxidermist. Here's Brad Bruce. He'll be there with his award-winning work. He specializes in deer heads and mammals.
Tom Wolfe is always a hit. He's our Michigan Outdoors Fish Taxidermy winner up there at the Fish Factory, Houghton Lake. This beautiful trout, which won him state honors, just swept the national competition, by the way. So see that winning exhibit right up there at the fair. Tom, you've been on the show a number of times before. I want to congratulate you for this mount, which took first in the fish category in the Michigan Taxidermy Association, and the public voted it, what?
People's choice.
People's choice. I tell you, that says something for your work, Tom. A beautiful brown trout. I imagine this is probably a trade secret, how you make the water, make this appear to be water. You going to reveal that up at the Wildlife Art Expo at Sugarloaf weekend after next? You're not?
It's an illusion that I'll reproduce, but I can't.
At some future, well, you could
maybe
give it
down
out.
the road someday.
Oh, Tom Wolfe did magnificent taxidermy work, but he shifted after 1984. At some point, he got into carving fish instead, but found there wasn't a big market there. I guess he's back into taxidermy now, and we have some of his mounts here at the museum. We also have some of Brad Bruce's mounts. He still has a taxidermy shop, not as big and thriving as it was, because the taxidermy business has been tough in the past few years. Wildlife artist Chuck Denault. He moved to New York, I was told. And wildlife art, which was so big in the 1980s, is really a small profession nowadays. A lot of full-time wildlife artists that were doing it full-time in the 80s are back doing commercial art nowadays. How things have changed. Here's a game tracker. This was a tracking string. It was a big product back in the 80s. The Game Tracker company is still around, but I really haven't heard much about the Game Tracker itself lately. Flex Gun Rod. We had that at the fair. Larry Molesky marketed these things. I have a couple of the old ones, but there's a product that just didn't catch on, and the other gun cleaning manufacturers kind of ate that business up. Then there was Paul Collins with his product, the Happy Dehooker. This little device is the best thing I've ever seen for getting fish off the hook, although this product I haven't seen in a number of years, and I wonder what happened to it. I'm glad I still have a couple. And then, well, there was Fred Bear at the beginning of this clip. Man, he passed away back in the 80s. Bear Archery started in Grayling, Michigan, and that company moved to Florida. But fortunately, the legacy of Fred Bear lives on. I have videotape of Fred Bear that I've never put on television, and I'm going to have to put some of that on the air this year. And then something else we had at the fair that you don't see anymore was a wildlife photographer that did 16mm movies. 1 o'clock, right there, Tom Sterling, his wildlife films. He's going to show Land of the Woodland Drummer on Friday and Sunday. Full-length film, The Marsh, A Quiet Mystery, will be shown on Saturday. Both of these were photographed in Michigan. And on Saturday night at our banquet, we talked Tom into giving us a sneak preview of his Alaskan film that hasn't even been released yet. Moose, grizzly, salmon, that film is tops. I tell you, Tom Sterling is going to be a big hit at the fair every day with one of his full-length films. Keep in mind that we are just going over the highlights of the outdoor fair, hitting the high spots. There's an awful lot of people who are going to be up there, and you can pick up a lot of brochures and information, including our Club Digest, hot off the press. Here's another publication, hot off the press, a map of fishing in East Michigan. It's a real corker. You can get this, which a lot of you have written for, and we've referred you to the Travel Bureau Michigan, the country's greatest fishing waters, plus some other brochures on Michigan, color, diagrams, places to go, how to do it. But the best thing about coming to the outdoor fair is you get to meet in person my old fishing buddy, Bill Swagler. Bill, doggone, I tell you, people think that I go everywhere and know everything about the state. You got it on me. How many calls do you make a week to charter captains and guides and so on?
At least 75, maybe 100, depending on how much time I've got.
That's why I rely on Bill for a lot of my fishing information. Oh man, talk about changes since the early 80s. Bill Swagler is retired. The Travel Bureau used to have Stan Levency, Gary Marshall on staff, even Kenny Darwin for a time, promoting fishing. But that's gone now. They don't have those positions. They don't do the promotion like they used to of fishing. They do other types of tourism. Too bad. But also, you take a look at outdoor writing, outdoor editors in newspapers. I just got an email the other day from Tony Hansen, used to be the outdoor editor of the Lansing State Journal. He told me the Lansing State Journal took a poll, decided it wasn't worthwhile to have an outdoor editor on staff. That's why we don't have one anymore in Lansing. He moved to Battle Creek. They gave him a part-time position, so he's moved to Idaho, where he says things are still healthy in the outdoor writing business. That shows you what's happened over the years. Something else that we had back in the 80s, we showed some of Tom Sterling's film there at the fair. Well, those 16mm films, that's how I started back in 1968 with Morton F. Cameras like this. The cameras, the film, it's all gone. The lecturing business that Tom Sterling did going around the country where people would pay a few bucks and come to an auditorium and watch 16mm color films, that business is gone. I haven't talked to Tom in a number of years either, but I presume he's shooting video if he's still in the wildlife photography business. Oh, and magazines. I held up this. This is how our publications started back in the 80s. We made money doing things like this. Today, with our new magazines, the whole magazine business has changed. So there's a lot of stores that are even pulling out their magazine racks. I don't know. It's a tough way to make a buck. Speaking of changes, back in 1984, Bob Garner was on staff. Today, he's a Natural Resources Commissioner, embroiled in controversy from the DNR side, back when he was reporting on DNR happenings. Well, check out a headline of his back from July 30th, 1984.
Well, I promised both of you and the rest of our viewing audience some good word on pheasants this week. And the good news is that the Department of Natural Resources has raised approximately 30,000 pen-reared birds that they're going to release on 35 state game, state rec, and state park areas across southern Michigan. Now, to find out where these areas are and the various rules that apply to them, consult your hunting and trapping guide. That's just out. DNR has just gotten that guide out, and that's available along with your small game license and public access stamps. A couple of things that you're going to need before you can take part in this special pheasant hunting season. This should be a good program. Birds will be few and far between. Got a lot of area to put very few birds in, but it will give you ample time to tune up the dogs and get ready for what looks like not too good of a pheasant season commencing on October 20th. But speaking about pheasants, the governor on his recent trip to China met with the provincial officials of the province of Sichuan. They talked about our pheasant needs here in Michigan and shored up a deal which should bring about 250 adult pheasants to the state of Michigan where they can take eggs and raise up chicks to be planted on areas across southern Michigan next spring.
My, how things have changed. What Bob Garner was reporting on then when the governor went to China, well, they brought the pheasants back. Millions of dollars, I guess, were spent on the Sichuan program, and now nothing has come of it. Pheasants aren't even mentioned by the DNR. We have a whole different agency than we used to. The climate is different in the outdoors. Media is different. People's viewing patterns on TV and what they do with their spare time is far different. Our outdoor fair this past weekend, I mean, I'll tell you the honest truth. We had less than half of the people show up as showed up last year. I mean, this has been declining for years. And we found people have been saying that all events, I don't care whether it's air shows, auto shows, you name it, these events have been down. People are apparently doing something else with their time. Got to catch on to what it is. We can't go back to 16mm films, slingshots and happy D hookers, but I tell you, we had a lot of fun in those days, and that's what we're going to be searching for in the coming year on this show. Collecting collectibles, that's where we're going. Well, hit some yard sales, look for some old fishing equipment, and have fun this weekend. Get outdoors because it's a great place to be. See you next week. Right now, Boo Boo is having some M&Ms, which totally changed his personality. I mean, he's almost cute. They must feed those animals on TV. Grizzly Adams, they must feed those suckers constantly.
Lots of M&Ms, must be.
Because he was, I wouldn't want one for a pet. And this is the first time on this show that I've been nervous. When Glenn Dutterer brought the ducks and things, hey, no big deal. I do that all day. Now, is he isn't, gonna nip me or anything like he was a few minutes ago.
No, he's calmed down. He's
can feel his muscle there. They are muscular animals. And their hair feels like, they are related to pigs.
Uh-huh.
And they feel like it. When people come up to the outdoor fair, you folks, if you think you'd like to come up and pet Boo Boo, could they do it safely?
Well, probably not, because we have him roped off, and we sometimes we let someone pet him, but if everyone pets him, he'll bite somebody.
Oh.
He's.
So you have to use your judgment up there. That's
Yeah, very few people get to touch him. They can see him real close and take lots of pictures. But as far as touching him, it wouldn't be a good idea.
Come here, Chucky. Stand here. Look at how tall you are. You don't seem at all nervous. Are you?
I don't know.
You don't know? No, does he get nervous around the bear?
No, the kids have respect for him. You know, all of our animals. They know when to leave them alone and when to play with them.
Stand up and give him one. Make him stand way up.
Was it Chuck's idea to get this bear for a pet or yours?
Yeah, sort of. It was his, but I wanted one too because a friend of ours had one and I liked it. You know, so we figured, well, why not?
Of course, this takes permits from the DNR, and this, was this bear, did it come from other bears from a zoo or something?
No, we
From a
bought it from a
licensed
private
breeder.
owner.
You have to come from licensed breeders to ever obtain them.
Will his temperament improve over the years or get worse?
I'm not sure.
Well, you can write me and tell me about it.
We will call you.
Well, I'm able to touch this bear right here. You'll be able to see at the outdoor fair what they look like up close. Their eyes are interesting. They're teeny little eyes.
Yeah.
They can't see very well?
No,
They
they
say
have
that.
real poor vision.
But their nose, they can smell real good.
No, they smell. There's no doubt about that. This bear stinks. It does. Well, that's characteristic of bears. You can hear them breathing.
Right.
Of course, people will be able to do that up at Houghton Lake. And you'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. with Boo Boo. This is the Godfrey family. You coming too, Chucky, aren't you? Huh?
He's not sure.
He's not sure? Hey, you got to come up and see me go down in the dunk tank. Yeah. You want to see me do that?
Tell him you'll be there.
I'll be there.
Okay, I'm going to do that next.
Okay, tell me what's